Hey, 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 Happy New Year, everyone. It is January 19th, right? No, January 18th. I'm trying to get the new year going faster and further than it already is. I cannot believe we are almost, three-quarters of the way through um, the year already. We are at the 18th of January. So, my question is, when do we stop saying Happy New Year? Since I haven't seen you guys, I'm going to say Happy New Year to you. It's your girl, Carmen Bernard, and I am back. I've been off of live for a minute, but I am back and I am here. And we are still talking about how to get our financial houses in order. Listen, I'm Carmen Bernard. This is Big Facts with Carmen. We're going to be on every Wednesday as we were before we took a break, but we are back. And we'll be on every Wednesday night, Winning Wednesdays, Wealth Wednesdays. Y'all know why. Wednesday is my favorite day because I was born on a Wednesday. All righty. Humpback Day, all sorts of names for Wednesdays, but we will be on every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. where I will be sharing nuggets on how we get our financial homes in order. I talk to you about protecting your income, eliminating debt, creating a retirement income stream that you cannot outlive, creating generational wealth, something that we can pass on. We want to be able to do what the wealthy people do. And in order for us to do that, we have to do what they do. We got to look at them and do what they do. Success leaves clues. Again, I'm Carmen Bernard, and I'll be here every Wednesday with you, dropping some nuggets on something about your financial orders. If you are going to be listening to this on the replay, please hit hashtag replay something. Let me know that you are here. If you're here right now, welcome, welcome, welcome to the new year. And I thought that this day is a good time for us to go back to the basics. So we're going to be talking about budgeting in 6 easy steps. 6 simple steps, right? Because many people need a way of seeing how or where their money is going every month. And a budget can help you feel more in control of your finances and make it easier for you to meet your goals. The trick is to figure out a way to track those finances that works for you. Got to find a way that works for you. The following steps can help you to create a budget. If you're not measuring something, how can you know? If you're not tracking, how can you measure it? How can you know? Right? So, what I want us to do today is to go back to the basics. So, step one, you're going to calculate your net income, not your gross income. Yes, I know you make $100 an hour. Yes, I know you make $50 an hour. Yes, I know you make $35 an hour. Yes, I know you make $17 an hour. However, the many people make that mistake of focusing on their gross income, and we can't go there. We have to focus your net income. Your net income is your take home pay. That's your total wages or salary minus any deductions that come out for taxes, any employer provided programs, whether it's your retirement plans, your health insurance. If we focus on your total salary instead of net income, that can lead us to overspending because we're thinking, we make, $3,000 a month, we make $10,000 a month. That is gross, right? If you're a freelancer or a gig worker, a contractor, or you're self employed, make sure you keep detailed notes of your contracts and your pay in order to manage any kind of irregular income. So, again, step number one, calculate your net income. Step number two is to track your spending. Once you know how much money you have coming in, the next step is to figure out where it is going, right? Many of us like, oh my God, what, I had this much money. Where did it go? We want to make sure we know where our dollars are going. We want to make sure that we tell our dollars where to go. All right. So you're going to begin by tracking and categorizing your expenses. And that will help you to determine what you're spending the most money on and where might be the easiest to save. So the first thing you're going to do is start by begin listing your fixed expenses, right? Those are the ones that they're regular monthly bills. You pay it every single month and they're the same amounts. It does not change, right? Whether it's your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, your car payments. All right. So you're going to track those. Next, we're going to list our variable expenses. That's what happens sometimes. We totally forget about those variable expenses, those things that do not come in monthly. It might be your water bill that comes in every 3 months. And then when it shows up, it's a surprise because we haven't listed that somewhere or tracked that somewhere so that we can account for it, right? It could be anything that changes from month to month, like groceries, your gas, entertainment. This is also the place where we might find opportunities to cut back. All right. Credit cards and bank statements are a good place to start since they often itemize and categorize your monthly expenditure. So pull up your credit cards, pull up your bank statements, and go back and see what you have been spending money on. Maybe track back to like October of 2022 so that you can get all the things that you've been spending the money on. Keeping in mind, there was Christmas there. We spent money on gifts and things like that. And so those are not usual spending things. However, they need to be in our budget as well. All right. But that's the first thing. So we're going to record your daily spending with anything that's handy or anything that works for you. You can use pen and paper. There's nothing wrong against using pen and paper. You can use an app. There's so many apps out there right now. You can use your smartphone. You can use any kind of budgeting spreadsheets or templates that's found online. What you want to do is choose something that's going to work for you and that you will continue to do it. All right. The step number 3 is going to be set realistic goals. Let's review first. Step number 1 was to calculate your net income. Step number 2, track your spending. And step number 3, set realistic goals. So before you start shifting through the information that you've tracked, you want to make a list of your short and long-term financial goals. Yeah. Budgeting is not just about just writing down the income and the expenses, because we want to know what have a set goals, but we have to set realistic goals, right? Short-term goals should take around 1 to 3 years. So you might be looking at things like boosting up an emergency fund or paying down credit card debts, or you might even be looking at buying a home in the next year, 2 years, or 3 years. And then there may be long-term goals such as your child's education, which could take decades to pay, especially if you have very young children. Remember, your goals don't have to be set in stone, but identifying them can help to motivate you to stick to your budget. For example, it may be easier to cut spending if you know that you're saving for a vacation, right? It may be easier to do that. So set some realistic goals. Number 4, we're going to make a plan. So this is where everything comes together. What you're actually spending versus what you want to spend. You're going to use the variable and the fixed expenses that you've compiled to get a sense of what you'll be spending in the coming months, right? Then you're going to compare that to your net income and your priorities. And then you're going to consider setting specific and realistic spending limits for each category of expenses. All right. So you might choose to break down your expenses even further between things you need to have and things you want to have. For instance, if you drive to work every day, gasoline counts as a need, right? A monthly music subscription, however, even though you're helping you get to work, that may count as a want. So the difference becomes important when you're looking at ways to redirect your financial goals. And remember that I am here to assist you with any part of this that you need. If we want to sit down, if you want to sit down and us go through it, how to really set up that budget, how to figure out where your dollars are going, how to make sure that you're sending your dollars um, and not having to wonder at the end of the month where it went. That is what I am here for. And feel free to contact me, carmen10k.com, and we will sit down and do that. All right. So that was step number 4. All right. Step number 5. Oh, wait, before I go into step number 5, let's talk a little bit about this rule. It's typically referred to as the 50-30-20 rule. And you can adjust it, as it fits you. But the 50-20-30 rule is a budgeting technique that divides your income into 3 categories by percentages. And it's a simple way to track your expenses, right? It's a simple way to track your spending. Okay. So that 50, what we're going to, when we do the 50-30-20 breakdown, 50% goes toward needs. 50% is going to go toward needs. Now, if you can make that somehow smaller and adjust this for you, that's fine. But this is just a guideline, a budgeting technique rule for you. So those needs would be your rent, your rent or your mortgage, your car payments. We have to have somewhere to live. You have to have somewhere to get yourself to work. Your utilities, your groceries, that's your needs. 50% of your income needs to go there. Now, 30% you can put toward wants. And if you really want to be really stringent about saving and ensuring that you're putting money different places, you can move that down to 20%. But this 30% would be things like your shopping, your vacations, your streaming services. It's extremely important that you plan for your wants, because what happens a lot of the times, we get fed up. I'm working so hard and I can't take a vacation. I'm working so hard and I can't shop for myself. I can't do this. So we have to plan for those. Okay. So 30% of our entire income that's coming in is going toward wants. And then 20% is going toward savings. Okay. Savings or debt. So, like our emergency funds, our retirement, our children's education, credit card payments, life insurance. And I should have probably said 20, 20, 50, 20, 50, 30. I should have said it that way, because always pay yourself first. Always savings, always life insurance, always. Those things are the foundation, and those go first. All right. All right, so back to step number 5, adjusting your spending to stay on budget. So now that you've documented your income and your spending, you can make any necessary adjustments so that you don't overspend and you have money to put towards your goals. So look toward your wants as the first area to cut, right? Shopping, vacations. I'm not saying you cannot shop. I'm not saying cannot go on vacations, but maybe we can cut down a little bit there. Can you skip a movie night in favor of a movie at home, right? If you've already adjusted your spending and your wants, then you want to take a closer look at what you're spending on monthly payments. On close inspection, you might see a need may just be a hard to part with. You might just see that if you look closer. So if the numbers still aren't adding up, Look at adjusting your fixed expenses. Could you, for instance, save more by shopping around for a better rate? Looking at your homeowner's insurance, looking at your auto insurance. It is very important to shop those things every once to twice a year. Such decisions can come with big trade-offs. I know, for example, for me, my car insurance kept going up, kept going up, kept going up. Be going up according to me because I have a pretty good driving record, you know. Did I get a ticket for something? Yeah, one I have one or so, but it then I actually had some kind of forgiveness for it. So but it kept going up. And one of the reasons that one of my sons, had a couple of accidents, so my insurance was going up. And I shopped that again. I shopped that again and was able to cut my insurance in less than half. Less than half. I was able to cut it. And that's because I was able to find here's a secret here. Tune in. If you are a teacher or a retired teacher, you want to get in touch with me regarding your car insurance or your homeowner's insurance. There is a better way when it comes to that. All right. You want to tune in with me. So if you want to know how to save on your car insurance or your home insurance, and you are a teacher or a retired teacher, please call me. I'm telling you that I had a bill that I think was about $3,500. It might have been more, that I got down to a little bit over 1,000 for 6 months. And that's for 2 cars and nope, sorry, I've said 2 cars. That's for 3 cars because it's my car, my husband's car, and my son's car. And with everything else that was on there. So you have to shop your insurance. Even if you're not a teacher, even if you're not a retired teacher, there's ways, but there's one specific company, and I'm not going to state it on here. If you want to know, you got to contact me. All right. So again, if the numbers still aren't adding up, look at things that you can, reshop, whether it's your insurance to see if you can get a better rate. And anything that you can save will add up. They will help you. And you'll be surprised at how much extra money you can accumulate by just making one minor adjustment. Last, step number 6, finally, review your budget regularly. Once your budget is set, it's important to review it and your spending on a regular basis to make sure that you're staying on track. A few elements of your budgets are set in stone, but you may get a raise. Your expenses may change. You may want to reach a goal, or you may have reached a goal and then you want to go ahead and plan a new one. Whatever the reason, get in the habit of regularly checking in with your budget and following the steps above. There's even with Social Security, here's another tip. Even with Social Security, typically after you've paid, but about maybe the first 8 to 9 months, you have paid the amount you should have paid in Social Security, and your paycheck will go up. That's just not found money for you to just spend any which way you want. You can now use that money to go towards another goal. All right. So that's for today. A quick introduction. It can be a lot deeper than this, but a quick review of back to the basics. It's the beginning of the year. We all want to do better. So let's make sure that we get our financial houses in order, and getting back to the basics of budgeting is one of the ways that we can do that. Thanks for joining me tonight. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to spend a few minutes with me. If you're catching the replay, please, please, please put hashtag replay in there. Happy New Year to you. And I wish us all a prosperous and amazing 2023. Peace out.